You know, subhanAllah, some of us, we're actually delusional about how patient we are. Right? And I think a lot of people, even this topic, the topic of patience, like when I looked over this topic, my first reaction was, most people are going to be like, oh, patience? Well, I've heard about 2,300 topics, 2,300 lectures about patience. It seems like a very cliched topic. And it's like one of those topics that, yeah, it's very easy to talk about. People often talk about patience, this and that. It's a nice topic. But the real world application of patience is so far off from what we talk about in these lectures. And that really, truly is the sad part. Like I said, some people are actually delusional about how patient they are. You may find someone who like goes through a difficulty or something, or someone's like, they're on the road, someone cuts them off. They flip out, road rage, right? Common form of aggression. They flip out, and then a week later you talk to this person, and you'd be like, hey man, remember last week you were on the highway, and you'll hear the guy say, yeah, I think I was pretty patient. You're like, what? You weren't patient at all. You flipped out, you're yelling, you're cursing, you flicked the guy off, like whatever else. Right? But oftentimes we have a rosy picture of ourselves. And we kind of, a lot, and it's not everyone, but a lot of us, we just think of ourselves as patient people until the calamity strikes. Until we are tested by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in that moment, all those thoughts we had about ourselves mean nothing. Because what our nafs is upon, the upbringing we have given, the training we have given to our soul, that is what matters in that moment. And that is why we have that incident of the Prophet ﷺ with that woman who lost her child. And she's standing there weeping and crying and wailing. And the Prophet ﷺ goes to her, he tells her to be patient. He says, Isbiri wahtasibi, he says, be patient. And you'll receive and hope for Allah's reward. And this woman turns to the Prophet ﷺ and says, what do you know of my pain? Like, what do you know what I'm going through? And the Prophet ﷺ walks away quietly. And what happens? Well, later on, someone tells her, do you know that was the Prophet of Allah ﷺ? And she feels bad. She runs to the Prophet ﷺ, she says, oh Messenger of Allah, I didn't know it was you. And how does the Prophet ﷺ reply to her? He says, إِنَّمَا الصَّبْرُ عِنْدَ صَدْمَةِ الْأُولَى. He says, most certainly patience is at the onset of the calamity. Not later, not 10 minutes after, not an hour after, not a week after. That's not the time to be patient. The time to be patient is when the calamity first strikes. You know what's beautiful about this? This is one of my favorite narrations, because there are so many benefits we get out of this. Well, first of all, when she says to the Prophet ﷺ, what do you know of my pain? The Prophet ﷺ knew of more pain than we can even imagine. He went through calamity after calamity, hardship after hardship after hardship. And I've said this in my previous talks where we break down the hardships of the Prophet ﷺ. There's hardly a hardship that you can think of except the Prophet ﷺ went through it. And one of them was the loss of a child. We know that incident where the Prophet ﷺ is holding his young infant child, Ibrahim, and he holds him to his chest as Ibrahim breathes his last breath. So does the Prophet ﷺ know what it feels like to lose a child? Yes. Does the Prophet ﷺ know what it feels like to lose the love of his life? Yes. Does the Prophet ﷺ know what it feels like to be turned away from his people? Yes. Does the Prophet ﷺ know what it feels like to be rejected by your family members? Yes. Does the Prophet ﷺ know what it feels like to be emotionally harmed? Yes. Does the Prophet ﷺ know what it feels like to see your loved ones being tortured and killed and maimed? Yes. There's not a single calamity except the Prophet ﷺ knows what it feels like. So if there's anyone who deserves to say to someone, be patient, it was the Prophet ﷺ. It wasn't an empty statement. It wasn't the advice like a lot of times people like me give, right? Or maybe I haven't gone through what you're going through, but I'll say to you, be patient. The Prophet ﷺ was not like that. He experienced everything. And so when he said, be patient, it meant a lot. You know what's the irony of that situation? Is that when the Prophet ﷺ when she said, "What do you know of my pain?" the Prophet ﷺ walked away. And in walking away, he, in that moment, showed patience. He practically showed patience in that moment. Brothers and sisters, it's those moments that we are talking about right now.